Okay. Alright, so it's going to be my VOD number 2. I'm going to make this right now because the servers are down and I'm waiting on Max Payne 3 to download. So, I want to talk about Hecarim because I think he's actually a really strong champion and I think he's actually tournament viable. But I have to play with him and practice around with him more and maybe try him in more team comps. But for solo queue though, I think he's really, really strong. Like, he can run teams over. And that's for a couple of reasons. One of which is he has like a retarded, his base stats are really high. Like, he's got 95 health per level, which is really good if you compare it. Like, I think Mundo only has like 80 something, like low 80s. So he has, I'd say, like maybe one of the top 10 highest health per levels in the game. He has really good mana per level. He has really good movement speed, 320, which is, I think, 325 is the highest. He has MR per level, which not everybody has, but he does have it, and +4 armor per level, which is actually really high. His attack speed per level is kind of like eh, and his 80 per level is like 3, which is okay. It's not the best, but it's pretty good. I think one of the reasons why he only has +380 is because he has, you know, the passive or whatever. 25% of his bonus movement speed equates into damage, which at the end of the day, that honestly only ends up being like, what's his bonus movement speed? I think I've only had like, what, I don't know, 140, 150 bonus MS, like with top build. I think it's like 480 MS with maximum build. So like a quarter of that is like, it only ends up being like a free BF sword at the end of the day, which is still pretty good though. I mean, free 40 damage, don't mind if I do, I'll take that. And let's see, some of his abilities, like at first I thought his Q wasn't very good, and then I kind of thought about it. It's like 190 damage or whatever, which doesn't really sound like much, and the scaling on it's not that high, it's 0.6. So like, I don't know, I think I probably have like 200 and, yeah, probably about 280 on, it's 200 to 380 on Hecarim in game, so we'll just say 200. So 0.6 of that, it's like, you end up with like 120 damage extra on it. So it's like, probably about 300 per hit or something like that on his Q, and that's AoE. So 300 AoE didn't really sound like much, but it's the fact that if you get max CDR, you can cast that every like second and a half to 2 seconds, like due to the whole passive thing. So, what the heck is this? Anyways, so like I figured that out, and then I decided to start stacking CDR on him. So I rushed Frozen Heart on him, and I think that's really good for that. Like, because just in a team fight, you can spam 300 damage, and then like 300 damage, 300 damage, 300 damage. And that's enough damage to be a threat in a team fight and to kill squishies. And then his other ability, actually I max Q first. That's the first ability I max. But I start with the 1 point in W. And then what else you got? You got his W. That's like, this is the big thing that makes him overpowered. And because he scales so well in the late game in team fights, just because his W is so broken. And it's not because like a lot of people read this and think, well, oh look, 260 maximum damage and then the healing cast of 180. So they're like, oh my, 180 healing, that sucks. But it's really not that. That's only for minions. So it's really overpowered in team fights. It's 30% of damage to everybody in the area. So let's say that Annie drops 1,000 damage Tibbers W combo on a group of people, like 5 people, and you have your W on. You know, that's you heal for 30% of that. So there's 1,300 times 5, so it's like 1,500 damage, 1,500 health that you're gonna get just from Annie doing an ultimate W combo on 5 people. So think about how much that W heals you for in a team fight. Like, pretty much while it's up, you're God. You're God mode. And the healing on it is just so broken. So this allows Hecarim to be like a super initiator, like a real bruiser tank. Like, I really like this ability. This ability is so broken, and this is what allows it to scale so well in the late game. That's another reason that I get CDR items, because it's 14-second cooldown, which is like, holy crap, that's long. And it lasts, what, it's 4 seconds. So if you get max CDR, it ends up being like, I don't know, 8-second cooldown, and it lasts 4 seconds. So it's 4 seconds, pretty much, that's a 4-second gap where you're not God, but every time it's up, you're God, so you'll never die. Really good ability, I like that ability a lot. I maxed this second, and then he has his E, his E's, whatever. It's okay for ganking, okay for pushing people around. It's like, the damage on it is not that good. Like, It's 360 base, which is actually a pretty high base, and then it's 1.0 per bonus, so it only ends up being like 500 and something damage late game, which is cool, but it's not really that much. It's mainly for just getting around. It can be good for escaping, good for positioning. I only get 1 point in this at level 4, so and that's for ganking. The ease, whatever. I don't really care about ability. Maybe this ability could be tweaked some to be better. And then they have his ultimate. I really like his ultimate. It does a lot of damage, actually. It does 300 base damage, which is pretty much Malphite's ultimate. And it also sends out a shockwave that does 200 damage. So, it has like a mini fear on it. The 1 second mini fear is like, it's whatever. You know, it's not really that good. But the fear on it, mainly the fact that it allows you to initiate and get into like position with you. Like you can R into like their pass their tank line into their squishies. And the fact that Hecarim's W is so broken, you can sit there and tank the squishies all day and be God mode. So this one's good for escaping and good for knocking squishies around, initiating properly. I like to use it as not as a primary initiate, but more like once the fight breaks out, you can run into the team and then just cause all sorts of chaos. So of course I max this every time it's up. For item build though, actually, how am I going to show that? I usually like to get... I know, I'll go on... LOL Pro or something. Nah, too lazy to do that. Basically, I get... A lot of people go like wriggles and stuff on Hecarim, but I don't really like doing that. So, I like to start with a regrowth pendant, and then I get... I do regrowth pendant 1 potion, and then I'll do the regular clear, where you go from blue to all the way down to double golems and back again. And you can do that just fine, and then go back and get your Philo Stone. So I like to get the double GB10, where I get Philo, Heart of Gold, and then I'll get boots, and then usually I'll get the base portion of the Frozen Heart, and let's say I'm against like a team with a lot of AD, then I'll finish the Frozen Heart real fast. But if not, then I'll start working on a Trinity or something like that, or an Aegis, just so I can help my team out. And then after that, like basically a 6-item build for Hecarim would be probably Merc Treads, Frozen Heart, Trinity, maybe a Fawn or a Mothorius, whatever. Last Whisper, and then your 6-item can be whatever. It really doesn't matter. Oh yeah, random ones. It'd probably be random ones if I'm against heavy AD, and if not, then it'd be probably Fawn. So that's a 6-item build, and I like to go 0, 21, 9, so I can pick up all the movement speed mastery. So, like, Hecarim, I think I'll have, like, I don't know, probably 405 base MS, I think, at level 1. So that's really good. And Hecarim's a really good level 4 ganker. I like to go Flash Smite on him, and it's really good to get behind people with his E. You can flash his E, which is kind of gay, but it's really good for blowing summoners, and if people don't have summoners, you can kill them really easy. And his level 6 gank is really good, too. I don't really do a lot of ganking with Hecarim until level 6, though. But you can dive towers, and he's just really good for that kind of stuff. But that's kind of like my basic breakdown on Hecarim. I might make a guide for him. Like, I know there's one on the LOL Pro website. I'll look over it, and actually I'll look over it right now. LOL Pro. Because I think Crumb's made a guide for this. So I want to see what he did with it, and I'll tell you if it's right. I think I have like over 20 or 30 games of Hecarim now. He's actually one of my favorite champions right now. Hecarim. I've never actually searched on this site for guides. I'm the best. Oh, like one load Hecarim. I think that's how you spell it. Yeah. There we go. Well, this actually has 190,000 views. Okay, what did he do? Attack speed, that's bad. You shouldn't do that. It's good to get, I like to get the 10 armor pen, and then I'll get flat AD or whatever on, so 10 armor pen, then flat AD on the rest, or you can go attack speed. And then movement speed quints, that's fine. So the 15% attack speed is a real waste. Shouldn't do that. And then also you shouldn't get the 9 offense. So you want 21 defense and then 9 utility. So I'm actually going to have to change this guide. And he also goes exhaust, which exhaust is cool, but I prefer being able to position better with his E and stuff. And then he also maxes W first, which I really don't like either. You can get 1 point in W and then max Q down the line, but he gets too many points in W. You really don't need to do that, because the cooldown on Q is so low that you just have to abuse it early. And it also starts boots pots, where you can you can do more ganks and stuff early, but really don't like that. And then he also doesn't have Last Whisper in his build. He gets Wriggles in his build, which is really not needed, because you already clear on its own. And he has very little CDR, so I really don't like his build at all. His build is really bad. So actually, I'm gonna redo this guy later. Yeah, that's pretty much my rundown for Hecarim, though. I'm gonna fix this guide up, and I guess I'll link it with this video. So thanks for watching, and I'll actually do like a better video when the servers are up, like next time. But that's my basic rundown for Hecarim. Peace.